Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a bit and I apologize, things have been kind of hectic around here, but I'm going to try to get back into it. Today what I've got is a first impression of a knife that I recently picked up. That knife is the CASE XX USMC. I have been looking at K-bars for a while. I've had several over the years and traded them off and different things like that, and had been thinking about getting another one and run across this one. Now, there's a underlying reason why I got the case, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but we'll talk about the knife right now. The knife itself is kind of interesting. It's patterned after a K-bar, but there's some differences to it, and we'll go over that. First thing I want to get into, when you get it, this is the box it comes in. Smoky Mountain Knife Works has them for $97 and change. So if you're interested in picking one up, that's a good place to get one. But when you open the box, you'll see this little card here. And let me get it up here and see if you can get it to where it's focused and you can read it. It says Certificate of Authenticity. So let me read to you what this says, and this will explain a few things on this knife. This is to certify that the CASE USMC combat knife is a genuine CASE collectible. This is an authentic reproduction of the original prototype combat knife submitted by W.R. Case & Son to the U.S. Armed Forces for government issue. The original prototype is presently owned by Bill Adams, a renowned knife collector. Case knives have been made by skilled American craftsmen since 1889, made with quality, attention to detail, and uncommon pride. The reproduction CASE USMC combat knife continues in that fine tradition, offering further testimony to the art of knife making as defined by CASE. This exquisitely crafted reproduction knife, the CASE USMC combat knife, features a blackened blade with a famous CASE XX tang stamp, genuine leather handle with grooves for grip, a genuine leather sheath embossed with the USMC emblem and the CASE XX logo. Now, in my research, what I have found is CASE presented prototypes to be tested to the armed forces. They were never awarded a contract, so they never made knives for the armed forces to carry during World War II, or as far as I've found, ever. So that's one thing that sets this apart. The second thing is, since this was based off the original prototype, there are a few things different from a standard K-bar that you will find, and we'll get into those. According to everything I've found, CASE started producing these in 1992, and if you look at the back side of the blade, and I don't know if it'll show up, but on one side of the tang stamp, let's see if I can get it where you can see it. Right there, if it'll focus. Come on, focus. It says USMC 1992-USA. And then the other side has CASE XX, Bradford, Pennsylvania on it. But that being said, everything basically is similar to a K-bar. The fuller, everything. The handguard is a little different. On the CASE, it is straight. On a K-bar, both the upper and lower half have a little bit of a backwards tilt toward the pommel. The first thing that I noticed compared to a K-bar when I picked this up is the grip size. This grip on the case is bigger than the grip on a K-bar. It's a whole lot bigger in diameter. The other thing that you notice is back here. The K-bars have looks like almost plastic or something black right underneath the pommel. The case does not. It has leather, and you can look at that and tell it's been trimmed around the pommel. The other thing that I noticed right off the bat between this and a K-bar, the swedge on the back side of the case comes sharpened from the factory. K-bars are not like that. You have to sharpen them yourself. It's a very rough edge, but it is sharp-ish. But if you look at it real close, I don't know if it'll pick it up or not. Yeah, there we go. You can see the grind marks where it was sharpened. Now, I have already sharpened this. It was not very sharp when I got it, but I've reworked it like I do all of them. So, I don't know why it is, but every knife I get, I always sharpen it. What I have found, to the best of my knowledge, these were made by CASE. I have seen several videos to where people say these were made by Ontario for CASE. I haven't been able to find any proof to back that up. It is a 1095 blade, pommel and crossguard, all 1095. The one thing that I like about this one over the K-bar is the finish. This is kind of a phosphate finish, more true to what you would see on military weapons and military gear during World War II. It's kind of a parkerized phosphate finish instead of being painted like the K-bars are. Now, the main reason I went with the case is because of this one right here. Any of you have seen the video on the M3 trench knife I have know that it is made by CASE. So I figured if I'm going to have a USMC, I'll stick with the case, even if it's not an original issue weapon. The sheath is very similar to the K-bar. Of course, it's got CASE XX on it. It's got the two rivets here. It does not have any staples along it like some of the older style leather K-bar sheaths. And then down here where the leg thong goes through, if you notice, it is a rivet, hollow rivet all the way through instead of just a hole punched into the leather. I like that just because if you do get this wet and have that tied down, it's not going to stretch that hole out, which I've had happen with some of the leather K-bar sheaths. Overall, fit and finish is very good on this knife. It's very tight. I've seen videos where people have got them and they've been loose. This one's not that way. One thing that I do know from using other knives with leather handles, they have a tendency to dry out if you don't use them. And if they dry out, that leather will shrink. We'll see if that happens to this one or not. I don't know if it will. The fit into the case is just like any other K-bar in a leather sheath. It's going to fall to an extent. With the handle being bigger, the keeper at the top seems to hold it. A lot of the case or the K-bars I've had, it'll slide all the way down up to the cross guard if you try to invert it. But overall, very, very pleased with it. Can't wait to get it out and use it. Things are finally drying out here. The river that I had running through the backyard is gone. Now, if the ground had just dry out enough to set up and not be muddy like quicksand out in the backyard. But whenever I do get a chance to get it outside, I'll get some footage on that, see how it holds up. Now, this is a rat tail tang, just like a K-bar. So the weak point is going to be right here. I don't know that I would take this out and beat on it like I would a full tang knife, like one of my Essies or something like that. But basic, normal use, I think it'll be fine. Batoning and stuff like that, as long as you don't go crazy and try to baton 6-inch pieces of wood, I think it'll be okay. But there we go. There's a first impression. I'm very pleased with it. Glad to add it to the collection. And we'll see where we go with it from here. So there you are. Like, share, subscribe. I'll get another one up for you soon.